Rangan Quinn, Deputy Director at DCRAC. I'm here to help you with your housing, tax, or title problem, so give me a call anytime, and I'm happy to meet to see what we can do together.
My name is Joe Gross. I'm the Credit Clinic Director here at DCRAC. I'm the one that would sit down with you, develop a budget, figure out a spending plan, pull your credit report, and see if there's any way we can improve that.
Hi, my name is Lillian Harrison, and I'm the Housing Director for DCRAC. And as the Housing Director, I help people with foreclosure prevention, pre-purchase counseling, credit, and budgeting. And it's absolutely my pleasure to serve you.
Hi, my name is Anthony Doring. I'm Delaware's free tax attorney and the director at the DCRAC Low Income Tax Clinic. If you receive a notice from the IRS, please give me a call as soon as possible so I can schedule you for a free consultation.
Hi, my name is Maricela Tovar Rangel, and I am responsible for doing the intake process here at DCRAC. And I also manage the credit union, Stepping Stones Community Federal Credit Union, y también hablo español.
Hi, my name is Christian Pillerino. I work for DCRAC as an outreach director. I enjoy working for community and local families.
Hi, my name is Howard Keener. I'm the Director of Strategic Projects and Community Affairs for DCRAC. I work on human resources, internal policies and procedures, and community development, and also marketing for DCRAC.
Hello Delaware, how are you? I hope it's going great so far. Cannot believe it's November 5th already. I am Rashmi Rangan, and I'll spend the hour talking to you about my favorite topics, which are the 3 programs that DCRAC offers, and Stepping Stones, the Community Federal Credit Union. So, first and foremost, we have 3 offices, 2 in the city of Wilmington and 1 in Georgetown. We serve the entire state of Delaware through 3 of our programs: Credit Clinic, Tax Clinic, and Housing Clinic. Our credit union serves the city of Wilmington. So what are our 3 office locations? In Wilmington, 603 North Church Street is where our credit clinic and our credit union sits on a regular basis. Tax clinic comes in on Thursday and Friday at 603 North Church Street. At 600 South Harrison Street, at the moment, it houses myself, Jacqueline Quinn, our Deputy Director and Title Law Project Director, as well as Howard Keener, our Strategic Programs and Community Affairs Director. in our Georgetown office on 20127 Office Circle is where Lillian Harrison, our housing director, and tax clinic Anthony Doring sits there Monday and Tuesday, as well as Christian Tijerino, who does outreach in southern Delaware, targeted primarily to the Latino community. And that makes the contingent that is your staff at DCRAC. So, I will now talk about first the credit clinic. I consider myself and my credit clinic director, Joe Gross, as money gurus. But in the event you don't think we are, give the following 10 a try. So, just before coming in, I said, let me see who else is there that people ought to know. And I kind of Googled money gurus, and this is a site that I came up with, and it says good topic, and I should be following them after today. 10 financial gurus you should be taking advice from. If you are someone who is struggling with their finances, starting to learn about budgets, or just want to take charge of your investments, then maybe you need to spend more time with people who know how it is done. Enter the financial gurus. These personal financial pros know what they're talking about when it comes to the green stuff in your wallet. Thanks to Twitter, you can rub elbows with the best of the best and soak up their knowledge without ever meeting them face to face. That said, here are 10 financial gurus you should follow on Twitter. At Dave Ramsey is the first one. Dave Ramsey is the bomb. Not only is he host of a syndicated radio program, The Dave Ramsey Show, he also produces a kick-ass podcast where he advises Americans on all matters related to investing and saving. Ramsey looks to help people with money matters because he once lost it all in the real estate market. He declared bankruptcy. Shaped by those events, he now teaches people how to avoid debt at all costs. Not bad advice at all. He's particularly good at coaching people through the step-by-step process of reaching financial freedom. He recognizes that not everyone is ready to jump into investing and helps them realize that they need to get their financial house in order first. He often mentions the tripod of financial stability: save lots of money, get debt free, and set up an emergency fund with at least 6 months worth of expenses. After you get that sorted, then you can talk about investing. So that is from at Dave Ramsey, the at sign DAVERAMSEY. That is his Twitter account. The number 2 on this list of the top 10 financial gurus, at the real Kiyosaki. So it is at THEREALKIYOSAKI. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of a personal finance classic, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've heard about it, and I'm sure many of you have read it. The book is based on Kiyosaki's childhood and tells the story of 2 fathers, one highly educated but financially illiterate, the poor dad, modeled after the author's own dad, and the other, the rich dad, modeled after the father of his childhood friend growing up. Reading this book will change your life and your relationship with money. It will leave you with a profound understanding that if you want to have a rich life, then you need to understand how to make money work for you, rather than frittering away your life working for money. So that was number 2, at the real Kiyosaki. Number 3, at Susie Orman Show. It is at SUZEORMANSHOW. Author and television personality Susie Orman is well known in the personal finance space. She went from waitressing to being a stockbroker at Merrill Lynch to opening her own company. Today, she focuses on creating books and kits that help people learn about investing and personal finance. She has a ton of books out there covering topics such as the laws of money, which include lessons on how to gain control over your money and therefore your life. Orman focuses a lot on the psychology of personal finance, but also has a number of useful calculators on her website which can go a long way in organizing your finances. With a very large library of books, CDs and DVDs on personal finance, all of which feature Susie flashing her winning smile, you can think of her as the Jane Fonda of personal finance. Number 4, at author David Bach. So it's at AUTHORDAVIDBACH. David Bach is an author famous for his series Finish Rich and The Automatic Millionaire. He's probably sold over a bazillion books since he's picked up the writer's pen, but who's counting? The author and speaker is kind of like the father of modern personal finance, and his books are the epitome of common sense investing principles. If the phrase pay yourself first sounds familiar, it's because David Bach made it a thing. In other words, before you do anything with your money, you must set aside a certain amount for your own savings. Do this, Bach says, and you'll be set for retirement without having to worry about budgets and discipline. Number 5, at Neil Godfrey, and that is at NEALEGODFREY. Having started out as at Chase Manhattan Bank in 1972, Neil Godfrey was one of the first female bankers in the financial industry. For the last 30 years, Neil has been a huge part of the financial world, helping and advising the people worldwide. Some of us haven't been alive for that long, although I have. She is a prolific author on the subject of money and finance, but writes for a very specific niche, having written numerous books aimed at both parents and children, including Money Doesn't Grow on Trees, that's what my mom used to say, A Parent's Guide to Raising Financially Responsible Children, and Neil S. Godfrey's Ultimate Kids Money Book. Number 6, at M. Marquit, MMARQUIT. Miranda Marquit, I think I'm spelling her name, pronouncing her name correctly, is the force behind plantingmoneyseeds.com, a website that focuses less on the saving money aspect and more on the creating wealth part. Take a trip to her portal of wisdom and you'll find excellent tips on how to run a business, investing, and more. Ever wanted to invest in stocks but didn't know where to start? Miranda can help you with that. Want to make some money on the side or start your own business? Miranda can help you with that too. Need help figuring out your finances, how to incorporate good personal finance habits, or which online broker is the best to invest with? Miranda can. Okay, you get the idea? All right. 7, at Budgets Are Sexy. So it's at BUDGETSARESEXY. Self-proclaimed personal finance nerd J Money let the world watch as he grew his savings from 50,000 to nearly 500,000 in the span of 7 years. A former graphic designer, J Money detailed his journey on his blog Budgets Are Sexy, winning FinCon Blog of the Year in 2012 along the way. He ran up his net worth by saving like crazy, maxing out his 401k and IRA accounts, and also hustling like a madman. J Money worked 40 hours on his 9-to-5 job and then another 30 to 40 hours on his own side gigs. It all started simply because he wanted to know how to use a budget. That snowballed into him running and then selling numerous blogs. Today he is the man behind Budgets Are E-Sexy and Rockstar Finance. Check out budgetsaresexy.com to learn from his experience. Now he started with a $50,000 to a $500,000 savings. I am gonna follow him right away. Number 8, at Ramit, at RAMIT. Ramit Sethi is a personal finance guru for the modern era. He is the author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich. I need to read him too. And while that sounds like it was written by the same people who bring you late night infomercials, the book is chock full of incredible finance advice. Ramit is like Miranda Market in that he knows that the other financial gurus tend to focus solely on saving and scrimping without ever mentioning wealth creation. After all, restricting your expenses is just one part of the equation, right? You want your income to grow as well. Sethi is all about going for big wins, such as negotiating a raise at work that will compound in value over time, or calling up your credit card, phone, internet companies to negotiate better rates that will save you hundreds of dollars over the years. Number 9, at JD Roth. JD Roth, JDROTH. JD Roth is the mastermind behind Get Rich Slowly and Money Boss. The former is excellent when it comes to the nitty-gritty of personal finance, answering questions as microscopic as which saving account should I get? Or even, how do I start a Roth IRA? If that's too pedestrian for your taste, JD Roth has you covered at Money Boss, the site for advanced personal finance. JD is an entrepreneurial guy, sharing his insights and trying to help as many people reach financial independence as possible. Number 10, at Trend TSD plus at The Simple Dollar. So there are 2 Twitter accounts, at TRENTTSD and another one at The Simple Dollar. Trent Ham, no relation to John Hamm of the AMC's Mad Men, is the creator of The Simple Dollar. Coming full circle, Trent Ham started The Simple Dollar after experiencing a complete financial meltdown, just like Dave Ramsey. From humble beginnings, the site is now one of the top resources for people to learn about the best finance products, making smart investments, and creating wealth. The Simple Dollar can show you to be more frugal in your day-to-day life, where the best credit card deals are to be had, and even what kind of side business you could start today to create more wealth. So these were 10 finance gurus that are awesome at making their own financial lives great, but more awesome at them sharing that with you. So they all had Twitter accounts. You can just follow them on Twitter and practically get their tweets and learn from their tweets, from simple to how to budget, all the way to complex on how to invest, how to start a business. You have all resources available to you. So take advantage. Like I say, I consider myself a money guru. I've been doing this now for 23 years. And if you are uncomfortable coming to our financial coaching sessions, financial educations, that's fine. There are so many out there who really are motivated really by making sure that if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know. So here is information that maybe you could use. Our credit clinic is run by Joe Gross. Joe does a Borrow Smart class on the first Monday of every month from 5:30 to 8:30 at 603 North Church Street. So tomorrow is the first Monday, and yes, our class is from 5:30 to 8:30. You don't have to sign up. Show up at 603 North Church Street. All our classes are free. So at the Borrow Smart class, we really cover over the budgeting aspect, the credit building aspect, and then how to be a smart borrower. Because you are going to budget, you are going to build credit with the ultimate goal of borrowing for either asset building or a wealth building prospect in the future. So asset building could be home ownership, wealth building in the future could be refinancing or a small business loan, right? So those are the things that our focus really is on. Three things. Thing number one, that you know budgeting is pretty darn good and it's easy and you can do it. Number two, credit, it's okay. If you are now in the absolute swamp and you feel, oh, I can't get out, there is a helpline out there. If you haven't messed up, you're in great shape. If you've really messed up and you think you can't get out of it, there is help. So we want to share with you how to get your credit score, what goes into credit score, how to keep that credit score up, look at your credit report, what needs to fix, how to fix it, and move on so that soon you'll have an awesome credit score of 723 or above. And the last piece is smart borrowing. We focus a lot on the Truth in Lending Disclosure document so that you can look at that document and be able to translate into plain English so that when you are borrowing, you will be signing that Truth in Lending Disclosure. You'll know what you're signing. It's very important. So that is the credit clinic piece. We are working on an app. It will be Mission 723 because really when you have an awesome credit score of 723 or above, you borrowing doors open and you can get to that credit score by really understanding the credit mechanism, the lending mechanism. So that's where we are. And of course, it's not just teaching, it's working with you. So once you've attended a class and you think you need to work with someone as a guide as you work on your financial journey, then Joe will be with you until you're ready to let him go. So that's our credit clinic. I'll move into housing because you're working on your finances in order to build assets that you leave for the next generation. A great asset there is home ownership. And I've shared with you in the past, until I came to the United States in 1988, I never thought home ownership. But I don't know what the American soil did to me, but the home ownership bug bit me bad. And I worked with my savings, worked with a budget, worked to build credit. I I lived on peanut butter jelly sandwich. I saved so that I could become a homeowner. And within 5 years of landing in the US, I met my home ownership dream. And that dream, not just becoming a homeowner, of course, that made me feel wealthy already because I was a homeowner. But I had that stability. I knew that for the 30 years, my payments won't be changed unless I refinanced or property taxes went up or homeowners insurance went up. But the principal and interest portion of my mortgage would not change for 30 years. I had already been a renter for 5, and I knew in those 5 years already 5 times my rent payments went up. So here I had the feeling of being wealthy, home ownership, and the actual financial reality of a stability of my housing payment over a period of time. That gave me the dream to dream even bigger. So when I became a homeowner for the first time, I'd already decided that this would be my starter home, that I will be in this home 5 years, that I will move into my dream home 5 years later. So I did something that I would consider stupid, which was I got a 5-year balloon mortgage. So it was the first 5 years I was paying only interest, and then once the 5 years ended, I would have 2 choices: to pay up the entire balance, I didn't have that kind of money, or to refinance. But because I was planning on selling that home within 5 years, I was in good shape. So 4 years into home ownership, I looked and I found my dream home. I bought my dream home and I sold my first home, although really I didn't want to sell it. I wanted to keep it as a rental property, and my husband and I had our very first financial disagreement. And I would say, do I want my husband or do I want my financial wealthy future? And in that balance, my husband won. So we ended up selling that property, which I say at a loss because it was the wrongest time to sell my house. Prices were actually going down. If we had waited for 5 years, that property would have doubled in value. Anyway, that is water under bridge. I only occasionally bring that up. But home ownership is a dream that I don't want you to not dream of. Yes, there are any number of folk after the financial crisis said not everybody deserves to be a homeowner. And who said that? Homeowners, right? So if you have that dream of home ownership, go for it. There are only 3 things you need to work on. 1, save. Save like crazy. Save, save, save. Have blinders on and just see that dream home of yours. Save every penny. Number 2, build that credit. And really, it isn't difficult to build the credit. You can do it. Regardless whether you want to become a homeowner or not, look at your credit score, look at your credit report, and work on it. Do it for yourself. If you think you're never ever going to borrow money from anyone, why should I care? You should care. Why? Because everybody looks at your credit score. Everybody looks at your credit report. Okay, you're not going to borrow money to buy a house. Fine. You're not going to drive. Fine. You have kids. You're going to apply for student loans. So you have to work on your credit, period. So save, have that awesome credit, and then know what borrowing is all about. Borrowing ain't bad. You could borrow, particularly if you could borrow at 1% and then lend or save or invest it at 2%, you're keeping that spread, that profit for yourself. That's what banks do. That's what credit unions do. How? When you open an account at a bank or a credit union, you get an interest rate at a bank and a dividend at a credit union that might be 1%. When you go to the same bank or the credit union to borrow money, how much do you get it at? 6%, 7%, 10%, 12%, right? So they are buying money from you when they are opening an account for you, and they are selling it back to you when they are lending you money. And there is a big spread. That is the profit. So borrowing ain't bad. What is bad is poor borrowing. Smart borrowing makes absolute sense. I'll give you an example of smart borrowing. I think you've heard that story before, that big screen TV story, where I actually bought a big screen TV on a buy now, pay later deal, and the pay later deal was pay 1 year later. I had the money. I put that money in a 1-year CD. Actually, I didn't have the full money to, no, I did, yes. I had saved for 1 year to have enough money to buy the big screen TV, but then they offered this buy now, pay later deal. So I put that money into a 1-year CD, earning me back then 7% interest rate. And I borrowed at 0%, so 7% was a spread. So sometimes borrowing is good. I just told you about when I was renting. I was paying more as a for rent than I did when I became a homeowner. My principal, interest, taxes, insurance were fixed, definitely for the first 5 years. And more importantly, I was taking advantage of tax breaks. So property taxes that I paid was a tax break. When I itemized my tax returns, I took a huge break. The interest that I was paying was a tax break for me. So effectively, I was paying less as a homeowner than I was paying as a renter. So there are many occasions when it makes absolute sense for borrowing, smart borrowing. So home ownership is a smart borrowing. Now, of course, there was a period of time when homeowners did not do good by themselves when they went in and borrowed money from predatory lenders who made a loan, knowing that the borrower won't be able to pay back, but they'll have the house because it was a secured loan. And the financial crisis happened because what happened? Values of homes went down. So there was more money owed than the value of a home. So anyway, I started out by saying if home ownership is your dream, go for it. Not just my organization, but there are many other housing counseling agencies in the state of Delaware that can assist you with achieving that dream of home ownership. We have home ownership options with Section 8, a housing to home ownership program, Habitat for Humanity's home ownership program, in southern Delaware, the USDA loans, conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans. We have a gamut of good, sound loan products, plus banks have CRA loan programs for first-time home buyers. So if you're thinking about home ownership, definitely think and get help. So after our credit clinic works with you, you are then turned to our housing program for home ownership and foreclosure prevention. So the foreclosure prevention piece comes in for a population that ended up making certain bad decisions during this crisis period between 2006 until 2011, 2012, 2013. They refinanced their mortgage. They became homeowners with an adjustable rate mortgage, or many, many things that now are affecting them. Or they didn't make any bad decisions, but the economy around them just collapsed. I mean, look at Delaware. We lost the GM plant, Chrysler plant, you know. So there were things that were beyond our control. And from 2-income families, we became a 1-income family. So there were many, many reasons. And if you are experiencing foreclosure, about to lose your home, state of Delaware has a very good program. First, when the complaint is filed, you receive a big fat paper in the mail, certified, hand-delivered, posted on the door. Go through that. Maybe you don't understand the first few legalese, but towards the end there are flyers, there are phone numbers for you to call. There is a timeline. You could pick up the phone, get help, get a housing counselor. Housing counselor can walk you, gather all the paperwork, and when you go to mediation, you are very ready to mediate. What is mediation? You go there with the housing counselor, your lender comes there, lender doesn't come, but the lender's attorney is there. And you're negotiating with the lender's attorney on what options are available to you so that you don't have to walk out of your home and give them the keys. Sometimes that's the only choice because there is no income coming in for you and no modification works, because after all, what is a modification? A new promise to make a payment on a regular basis for the next several years based on whatever terms the lender works, either a lower interest rate, longer remaining term, etc., etc. So if there isn't an ability to do anything, then at least you can explore deed in lieu, short sales, or cash for keys. So you have some options, and whatever options you choose, at least you will choose it after understanding what your choices are. That is where a housing counselor can be of great assistance to you. So Lillian Harrison is our housing clinic director, and she'll be the one working with you if you're experiencing foreclosure. We have 2 legal clinics. One is a title project. I'll stay on the title project, and then it's the tax clinic, and I will talk about tax clinic. I'm staying on title projects solely because we have been talking home ownership, foreclosure prevention, and title project. So why is title project so important for us? First, we did not know that there are any number of homeowners and mobile homeowners who do not have title to their home. Why they don't have title to their home? Because they didn't know, or they didn't have the time to follow through with paperwork. So when they aren't legal title owners of their parcel of land, of their mobile home, of their house, guess what? They cannot do many things. They cannot, for example, refinance that mortgage, get a reverse mortgage. They cannot modify their loan. They cannot will it to their children. They cannot, in the case of a mobile home, move it from one lot to another lot. So if you don't have legal title, you cannot do any of those things. But more importantly, if you don't have legal title to your home and you need emergency assistance in the form of a grant or any other assistance from the government, you can't get that. Why? Because the property is not titled in your name. So if the property is not titled in your name, you need to get title to your name if you can legitimately show that you are the owner, either because it was willed to you Most of the times it is in a will, but you didn't follow through with the probate process. Or you may have to just go to DMV, provide all evidence, and then get title to your mobile home. It could sometimes be a complicated process, particularly if there are siblings. There might be a quitclaim deed that we may have to get. So it is not an easy process. If it isn't easy and you need legal help, Jacqueline Quinn is the Deputy Director and Title Project Leader and a Delaware attorney who will be able to assist you with your title issues. You can reach her at 298-3251. So let me read what is title. Title is the bundle rights in a piece of property. Title may also refer to a formal document such as a deed or a title which serves as evidence of ownership of the property. In most cases, it is important to have both legal title and evidence of title to exercise ownership rights of a house, mobile home, or a piece of land. By the way, title services are also available to you at no cost. Lastly, among DCRAC programs, DCRAC programs, is our tax clinic. What I've always told you about our tax clinic is that the tax clinic does not assist you in tax prep. Tax prep work is done by CPAs. We are, in this world, attorneys. So what we do is fight on your behalf before the IRS or the tax court. And Anthony Doring is, you can consider him your free tax attorney in the state of Delaware. The kind of tax troubles you could conceivably have may relate to the earned income tax credit. You could be in tax court. You may have collections issues. IRS is attempting to collect a debt they say you owe. You may be in an audit or an exam. IRS might want to be collecting from you on a debt that really belongs to your spouse, innocent spouse, or you were an you received a 1099 and not a W-2, and you believe that your employer should really treat you as an employee and not a contractor. Those might be some areas where we could assist you. If you've received any communication from the IRS, know that they communicate with you via mail. And once you receive that communication, oftentimes inside that communication is also information about the low-income tax clinics. If you go down the states, you'll come to Delaware and you will have our information. Again, the service is available to you at no cost at all. With the tax clinic world, when I mentioned about IRS communicating with you by mail, very important for you to know that all those voicemail messages that have been left on your phone, you owe Uncle Sam X $1,000. If you don't come up with that money right now, there is a warrant for your arrest. That is a scam. Report it to the Attorney General's office or ignore it. Generally, IRS will communicate with you through the U.S. Postal Services. If in doubt, contact your free tax attorney, Anthony Doring, and he gives his cell phone number to contact, 302-690-5000. So those are the programs that Delaware Community Reinvestment Action Council offers to Delawareans statewide. Other programs that we offer are more in the advocacy world. legislative advocacy, regulatory advocacy. For example, the new tax bill has been dropped. We have some concerns with that tax bill, and we will be talking with Senator Coons, Senator Carper, Congresswoman Blunt Rochester about the concerns that we have with the tax proposal. Payday lending is one area that we are concerned about. Debt collection is an area we are concerned about. Certainly anything relating to the Community Reinvestment Act is a concern. Certainly CFPB is a huge concern for us. Huge concern as in gutting the CFPB, the CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, has done wonders by consumers of financial products and services in these United States, got billions of dollars back into our pockets, and of course government doesn't like it, so they are working towards making it as ineffective as possible. We had succeeded in the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau coming out with a good arbitration rule that would have allowed you to be a member of a class action to get rid of forced arbitration in all contracts, but unfortunately Congress overruled, and we are now back in the ages where it's one-sided. If you want to borrow money, you have to sign the contract that your lender puts out, whether you like the terms of it or not. So, well, we'll continue fighting. So that's DCRAC. Over the years, DCRAC realized that we are battling all these fights. However, what are some alternatives to our community when it comes to financial relationship? Opening a bank account, particularly for those that have credit issues, are in the check system, or have lost faith in the banking system. They are now relying on banks only as a transaction, where because of this direct deposit movement in the United States, they have no choice but to have their money come into a bank account. But the day money arrives in the bank account, the first thing they do is go at an ATM, withdraw all the cash, and then conduct a cash-based transaction. Doesn't help any to build credit, right? Or they're still getting paid checks, and then they don't have a bank account. They'll go to a check casher and pay a fee that is illegal in many instances, because Delaware does regulate 2% or $4, whichever is greater, of the face value of the check. But if you have cashed your check, you know you've paid more than that, right? So what are our choices in terms of banking? Very few for those that have hurt their credit or in the check system. There are any number of employers that will not offer you employment or offer you employment, but if you cannot have money directly deposited into your account, you will lose that job. So that was in the banking side. And then we come to the borrowing side. For so many of our members of our community, borrowing choices are limited to title loans, payday loans, refund anticipation loans, pawn shops, and those are what I call the shadowy world of French finance. No regulation, absolute, it's a free for all. Interest rates could range to 500% APR, 1000% APR. It's expensive to be poor. It's incredibly expensive to be poor. Being poor doesn't mean that emergencies don't happen in our lives. Being poor doesn't mean we never have to borrow money, right? which is why we focus so much earlier on about saving, 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 building your credits, learning how to borrow smart, etc., etc. So we were concerned that we needed to provide our community with an alternative. It took us 10 long years of business planning before we got a charter from the National Credit Union Administration to open Stepping Stones Community Federal Credit Union. We got the charter on September 30th, 2011, a year that really was a tough year for financial institutions, period. And it's a miracle year for us that of all the times that we were applying for a charter before, it was 2011 that the NCUA gave it to us, which was not the best year to start new financial institutions. So we came in, we opened, we have a credit union, and we have only about 550 members to this day. I know Stepping Stones is not the most convenient financial institution for you, but it is your institution. If you live, work, worship, or study in the city of Wilmington, or your family member is already a member of the credit union, you can become a member of the credit union. Your deposits at the credit union are NCUA insured of up to $250,000. It takes you $5, your valid photo ID, and your social security card to open an account. Yes, you need to come in during the hours that the credit union is open. So when is it open? Monday 3 to 6 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 11:30 to 2:30 p.m., and Friday 3 to 6 p.m. Where? 603 North Church Street, Wilmington, Delaware, right across from Old Sweets Church. Just because it's a row house doesn't mean you won't get the best professional service you possibly could dream of. Maricela Tovar will be your membership, will be your relationship manager. She manages the credit union on an everyday basis, helps you open your account, answer any questions you have about the credit union, helps you with applying for a loan, sends your loan package to the credit committee. When you have a question about anything, she is the one that you would contact, and she would walk you through every step of the way. So what is a credit union advantage? There are few differences between a credit union and a bank. Difference number one, credit union, you are always a member owner. At a bank, you are a customer. You are not an owner. At the credit union, you basically can run for office, and you get to vote board members who then manage how a credit union is run. You cannot do that with your bank. What is the Stepping Stones advantage? Very simple. One, if you need a bank account, credit union membership, and others have said no, we won't say no to you, so long as you meet our field of membership requirements, right? Second, we now do offer direct deposits of your paycheck and benefits, so the money can come right into your account. 3, yes, we have still not announced the ATM card. I did test last month, so my card works, but now we have to figure out, and we are testing only with Maricela's and mine. Now we have to see the monies that I withdrew, where in the general ledger it sits. So we have to learn, make sure we know, so that we don't make mistakes with your money. But I remain hopeful that January 1, ATM cards will be available to our members. But at the moment, you can come in during our regular work hours, withdraw your money, we'll issue you a check, you can take it to Artisans Bank, and they'll cash that check for you at no cost. We have in a savings account, or as we call share account because you're a shareholder, we have 3 club accounts that we offer. A club account for your vacation, so you want to save for a vacation. A club account for holidays, you want to save what used to be called Christmas Club. And a club account for a 1378 challenge if you decide to take a 52-week savings challenge, where on week 1 you save $1, on week 2 $2, week 30 $30, week 52 $50. So at the end of 52 weeks you'll have $1,378. You can open a certificate of deposit with as little as $125. Then you can borrow money. There are 3 types of borrowing you can do. You can do a share secured borrowing, your own money. Against that you can borrow. You can apply for signature loan for any legitimate purposes. A full-blown loan application is taken. You must provide all your proof of income, proof of expenses. We look at your credit report, and then the credit committee makes a decision to approve or not approve the loan, or sometimes to come back with a counter offer. And the third one that really nobody has taken advantage of yet is new car and used car loans of up to $15,000. So if you have a car loan and you would like to refinance, come and see whether we are competitive or not. So I encourage you to take advantage of our full services for yourself, your family members, or for your friends. So give me a call. I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Quinn, Deputy Director at DCRAC. I'm here to help you with your housing, tax, or title problem, so give me a call anytime, and I'm happy to meet to see what we can do together.
My name is Joe Gross. I'm the Credit Clinic Director here at DCRAC. I'm the one that would sit down with you, develop a budget, figure out a spending plan, pull your credit report, and see if there's any way we can improve that.
Hi, my name is Lillian Harrison, and I'm the Housing Director for DCRAC. And as the Housing Director, I help people with foreclosure prevention, pre-purchase counseling, credit, and budgeting. And it's absolutely my pleasure to serve you.
Hi, my name is Anthony Doring. I'm Delaware's free tax attorney and the director at the DCRAC Low Income Tax Clinic. If you receive a notice from the IRS, please give me a call as soon as possible so I can schedule for a free consultation.
Hi, my name is Maricela Tovar Rangel, and I am responsible for doing the intake process here at DCRAC. And I also manage the credit union, Stepping Stones Community Federal Credit Union, y también hablo español.
Hi, my name is Cristian Tijerino. I work for DCRAC as an outreach director. I enjoy working for community and local families.
Hi, my name's Howard Keener. I'm the Director of Strategic Projects and Community Affairs for DCRAC. I work on human resources, internal policies and procedures, and community development, and also marketing for DCRAC.